Good morning. It's good to see all of you online today. I'm Teresa Madsen with OUUC Tech Team, and I use she, her pronouns. Welcome to all who are joining us on whatever platform you're using. This Zoom service is being recorded and it's streaming live to YouTube. We use the Zoom chat feature for greetings, song lyrics, affirmations and applause, and items shared from the heart. The chat is not posted or shared publicly. If you experience any technical issues during the service, you can reach out to me, Jocelyn, or any other member of the tech team for assistance when the chat is on. Lastly, I hope you will find a candle or a chalice. In a moment, we can light them together. Thank you for your grace as we all remember it's about connection, not perfection.
Good morning. Let's sing together our morning song. Have a nice morning sun shining right behind me. Feels great. We're going to sing hymn number 212 out of the gray hymnal. We are dancing Sarah's Circle. You can also find the lyrics posted in the chat. And the final line of the song, we're going to change to welcome one and all each time. Welcome one and all. Let's sing together. We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. Welcome one and all. Here we seek and find our history. Here we seek and find our history. Here we find our history. Welcome one and all. We will all do our own naming. We will all do our own naming. We will all do our own naming. Welcome one and all. Ever round a generation, ever round a generation, ever round a generation, welcome one and all. On and on the circle's moving, on and on the circle's moving, on and on the circle's moving. Welcome one and all. Thank you for singing.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation online worship service. We welcome each of you to this celebration of love and to this congregation. The OUUC community comes together in the mutual promises and possibilities of our covenant. We envision an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. We're so glad that you are here. My name is Liz Clement. I use they and she pronouns, and I am a member of the worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is our minister, the Reverend Mary Gear, Troy Fisher, our music director, and Sarah Lewis, our director of community and faith development. We are grateful for the many hands that helped make worship happen this morning. Deep thanks to the breakout room hosts, the tech team members, and all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have the chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Mary. We invite you to go into one of the breakout rooms for a virtual coffee chat. This is a chance to gather with a small group and say hello and just check in. Each breakout room will be hosted by someone to help make sure everyone knows each other and has a chance to share. We hope you'll join the discussion. Today, after coffee chat too, return here to the main room for today's edition of our beloved After Church with Melanie Ransom talk show. Today's guest is new member Holly Porter. And later today, you can welcome in the new year with an outdoor ritual, 3 p.m. this afternoon at the OUUC parking lot. There will be an opportunity to say goodbye to 2021 and welcome 2022. 2022. There will also be fire pits and warm drinks. Please come join. Looking ahead, please also join us next Sunday, the 16th, after the worship service for a Q&A about consent culture with members of our high school youth group. They will be answering your questions about how we can take the lessons of consent culture into our lives during a pandemic. There are so many opportunities to stay connected to our community. Please check the website regularly, and if you have questions or need help, please check in with a staff member. Now, let us open our hearts and minds as we prepare for worship. Welcome, everyone. It is so good to be together. This morning and every Sunday morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. Please join me as we light our chalices this morning together with these words by Ben Sewell. Out of the darkness, light. Out of the light, warmth. Out of the warmth, joy. Out of the joy, togetherness.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back and into the new year. Our opening words are offered by Starhawk, titled The Longing for Home. We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned we can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up when we enter. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing, a circle of friends. Some place where we can be free. Come, let us worship together.
Let's sing together our opening song, hymn number 323, Break Not the Circle. You can also find the lyrics posted in the chat. Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiving and forgiven. Break not the circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will that human bonds remain unbroken. Come then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves and stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation. Thank you for singing.
Good morning. The story that I have for you today is one of the many that are told about Anansi, that spider from African folktale. Anansi was a very clever spider. He was also very greedy. And one day, Anansi harvested some delicious yams from his garden. He was so hungry. But he had to roast the yams and make them truly delicious. And somehow he managed not to eat them while they were cooking and to wait till they were just perfect. But just as he was about to sit down and enjoy his feast of yams, there was a knock at the door. And it was Turtle. Turtle had been traveling for a long ways, was tired and cold, and had smelled that amazing smell of baking yams and had followed the smell to Anansi's door. "Why, hello, Anansi," Turtle said. It smells amazing. Would you by chance have any to share?" Now, do you think Anansi wanted to share? No, Anansi did not want to share. But it was the custom of the land that when people came at a mealtime, hospitality had to be given. And so Anansi said, all right, Turtle, come on in, have a seat, we can share the meal. And Turtle came in and sat down across from Anansi and was just about to take a bite when Anansi said, "Oh, Turtle, no, look at your feet. Why, they are so dirty. You can't possibly eat with such dirty feet. Go out and wash immediately." And Turtle looked down at their feet and realized that, yes, they were very dirty from the long road. So even though they were so cold and tired, they went back outside and walked all the way down to the river, washed their feet, and then walked all the way back from the river back to Anansi's house. Anansi had already started eating in the meantime, but there was still some yams there. And so Turtle sat down and was just about to take a bite of yams when Anansi again pointed at Turtle's feet. "Turtle, your feet are still dirty." And Turtle, poor Turtle, looked down at their feet and realized that indeed, actually, on the path back from the river, their feet had gotten dirty again. So sadly, they turned around and they walked all the way back to the river, washed their feet, and this time, determined not to get their feet dirty on the way back, they very carefully sort of hopped from grassy patch to grassy patch, avoiding dirt, all the way back to Anansi's house, where, by this point, Anansi had eaten basically all the yams and had only left a tiny little bit for Turtle. At this point, Turtle was angry and humiliated. "Well," Turtle said, "thank you for the hospitality. I hope that I can return the hospitality soon and you come to dine at my place." And then Turtle went on their journey home. Well, it wasn't too long after that Anansi started thinking about that invitation to dine at Turtle's place. Why, Turtle had a reputation for being a really good cook, and Anansi knew the food would be great. So one day, Anansi went to the river that Turtle lived underneath and arrived just at dinner time. And down below, he could see there was Turtle laying out the table for dinner. Turtle looked up and saw Anansi and said, "Oh, Anansi, you've come for dinner. Welcome, come on down." And so Anansi tried to get down to Turtle's house. He walked along and jumped in the river, but he was such a light little spider that he just floated back up to the top. So then he tried a running jump, ran it a little bit deeper into the water, but still he just floated right back up to the top. So he tried a cannonball, grabbed all of his legs together and a little bit further, but still floated right back up to the top. A belly flop, painful, but no more effective. Then Anansi had an idea. he took his coat and he filled the pockets with stones. Now he was weighted down, and when he got in the river, sure enough, right away, the stones helped carry him down to Turtle's house. Turtle was there waiting with a beautiful feast laid out at the table. Anansi took his seat, but just as he was about to eat, Turtle looked at Anansi and said, "Anansi, don't you know it's rude to eat with your coat on?" And sure enough, Turtle wasn't wearing a coat. And so Anansi took off his coat. And as soon as he did that, he floated right back up to the surface of the river, where all he could do was watch as Turtle ate that delicious meal all by themselves. Thus ends our story.
We came together in community this morning, bringing all that is in our lives. In this space, we listen deeply to all that we bring here with us. Here we share from our hearts what brings us joy and sorrow, what brings us worry and delight, what makes us afraid, and what makes us dance. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of life, our own and others. If you would like to send in something to share here, please look for the link on the online worship page on the OUUC website, and we'll bring it into the service next week. You will hear a drumbeat as we share today. It brings into our awareness that our individual hearts beat, and together we create the heartbeat of our community. Right now, let's just take a breath together, in and out, as we open our hearts to receive the complexity of all that is in our lives and community today. Bobby Adams shares that her sister Janie, at age 65, passed away very unexpectedly in her sleep on December 19th from complications related to Parkinson's disease. Thankfully, after 18 years, her last day was unusually peaceful and comfortable, spent in the company of another sister, Carol, who is known in the family as Janie's guardian angel. Janie and her husband Dave celebrated their 43rd wedding anniversary on December 16th, 2021. Bobby, we send our love and care to you and your family as you mourn. Hawthorne Campbell has a sister named C, who is homesteading in Olalla and who was recently abandoned by her fiancé. C is not without resources, as there are others participating in the homesteading effort, but the winter weather has not been kind to them or to the systems that they have been struggling to build together. Hawthorne, we send our love to C and her companions and to you in this new year. I invite you to share from your heart by entering in the chat. This is a time to share all that you wish, joys and sorrows and whatever else is shared from your heart. And as we take in what is posted, let us hear the heartbeat of our community and reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. I place a stone in the water for all that has been shared and is being shared from the heart. A stone holding the complexity of our lives, held in the water of community. And I'll place one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. I invite you now into a time of reflection, prayer, and meditation. Infinite web of life, spirit of love, great mystery of all. We begin a new year, a human-made distinction that carries meaning and possibility. While we may wish to begin anew, we carry the old with us. May we discern the lessons of what has been so that we may move into the future with wisdom. There is so much in our lives right now, our individual lives and our collective lives. It can be too much, overwhelming our senses, our bodies, our emotions, our compassion. May we remember to breathe, taking in the breath of life, feeling life in our lungs, our bodies, our bones. As we begin this year with its uncertainty and possibility, may we remember what has been and continue our work for what can be. On this day, may all be fed, may all be healed, may all be loved. Amen, and blessed be. Let's hold a moment of silence together.
Ring out wild bells to the wild sky, the flying clouds, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out wild bells and let it die. Ring out the old, ring in the new, ring happy bells across the snow. The year is going, let it go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. Ring out the grief that saps the mind. For those that hear, we see no more. Ring out the feud of rich and poor. Ring in the redress of all souls kind. Ring out wild bells to the wild sky, the flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying, let it die. Ring out wild bells and let it die.
Our prayers and meditations deepen our gratitude for what we know as sacred in our lives and in this world. Each Sunday, we express our gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. The offering collected here does two things. It supports the ongoing work of OUUC, which is also supported by your regular pledges. The offering also supports an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. Your generous gifts from the November and December Share the Plate collection allowed us to send $2,706 to the Mayday Foundation. Your generous Christmas Eve offerings added $1,149 to the Minister's Benevolence Fund. Thank you. For January and February, our Share the Plate recipient is Thurston Climate Action Team. We have a video to share about their work.
Hi, everybody. My name is Melinda Hughes. I'm the Executive Director for Thurston Climate Action Team. You might know us better as TCAT. Basically, what we do is we work on reducing the greenhouse gas emissions around Thurston County. And we do that in several different ways. We work on different issues. The trees are big. We want to preserve trees, plant trees, educate people about trees. Transportation is another big area that we work on. We want to, see more people driving electric vehicles. We also work on buildings. Buildings is the #1 source of greenhouse gas emissions for Thurston County. So we're working on getting everybody to use more electric versus fossil fuels. One of our newer groups we have right now is the Food and Ag group, who's working on different things, food security, composting, all kinds of good stuff in that area. We also have a group that is an equity group. Climate change, most of the problems actually have been caused by the wealthy nations. It's usually the populations with the lower income or racial disparities that are actually hit the hardest. So one of the things when we work on climate change, we also work on the justice side of things. You may actually have seen a few of the things we've done around town. If you drive to the west side across the 4th Avenue Bridge from Olympia, we have a climate justice mural in that roundabout. So that's a really exciting thing. So if you haven't picked up on that, you might want to drive across the bridge and look at that. We're hoping to do some more art projects similar to that around town. So that's something that maybe that actually your support may end up helping us do a little bit of. And we're also going to do some other art projects as well, whether it falls under like writing or dance or just art. But yeah, we want to say a big thank you for having us as the recipient of Share the Plates. What you all are doing is fabulous. And with climate change being so urgent, the timing is not better. So again, thank you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Melinda with Thurston Climate Action Team. And a big thank you and a Happy New Year.
Please note that you can participate in the offering by making a donation online through the church website or by texting the number that will appear on your screen in just a moment. You can also mail a check to OUUC. Passing the offering plate is a ritual reminder of that form of love we call generosity. May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received.
Ring out a slowly dying cause and ancient forms of party strife. Ring in a nobler mode of life with sweeter manners and purer laws. Ring out the want, the care, the sin, the faithless coldness of the times. Ring out, my mournful rhymes, but ring the fuller minstrel in. Ring out false pride in place and blood, the civic slander and the spite. Ring in the love of truth and right. Ring in the common love of good. Ring out wild bells to the wild sky, the flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out wild bells and let it die.
Thank you so much for your generous gifts. Our first reading today is an excerpt from The Power of Welcome in an Age of Loneliness by Jennifer Bailey. We're living in what's been termed the age of loneliness. We're more connected than ever before and simultaneously more isolated. We bemoan the deterioration of conversation as we spend more time looking at our screens than at the people we're talking to. But really the problem is that we do not give ourselves permission to talk about the things that truly matter. One of our biggest sources of resilience in combating loneliness is what psychologists call common humanity, the degree to which you see your struggles as part of the human experience. To feel less lonely in your stress, two things help, writes Stanford psychologist Kelly McGonigal. The first is to increase your awareness of other people's suffering. The second is to be more open about yours.
Our second reading is Marginal Wisdom by Leslie Takahashi. They teach us to read in black and white. Truth is this, the rest false. You are whole or broken. Who you love is acceptable or not. Life tells its truth in many hues. We are taught to think in either or, to believe the teachings of Jesus or Buddha, to believe in human potential or a power beyond a single will. I am broken or I am powerful. Life embraces multiple truths, speaks of both and of and. We are taught to see in absolutes, good versus evil, male versus female, old versus young, gay versus straight. Let us see the fractions, the spectrum, the margins. Let us open our hearts to the complexity of our worlds. Let us make our lives sanctuaries to nurture our many identities. The day is coming when all will know that the rainbow world is more gorgeous than monochrome, that a river of identities can ebb and flow over the static, stubborn rocks in its course, that the margins hold the center. This ends our readings.
Ring out old shapes, a foul disease. Ring out the narrowing lust of gold. Ring out the 1,000 wars of old. Ring in 1,000 years of peace. Ring in the valiant folks and free, the larger heart, the kindlier hand. Ring out the darkness of the land. Ring in the hope that is to be. Ring out wild bells to the wild sky, the flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out wild bells and let it die.
This is a story about welcome. When I remember a time that I felt welcomed, a person immediately came to mind who is a master at it. My friend Wendy Fish welcomed me into her home and into ministry. Wendy is a fellow Unitarian Universalist minister and was my mentor throughout my ministerial formation and for the first 5 years of my ministry. Wendy believes that ministry is about welcoming, and she is excellent at it. One example, I arrived at Wendy's home late one evening after a very long day of ministry that was difficult in many ways. And I was looking at another day, the next day, just like it. The weather was awful, rainy and cold, and I was tired, and mostly I just wanted to be home. I was kind of a little bit like the turtle in the story. But unlike the spider, Wendy opened her door, ushered me into the room where I would stay, showed me where the bathroom and extra linens were, and then said, "Please settle in and take your time. I have tea and something to eat if you like. I'll just be doing a few things in the kitchen. Take your time and take care as you need." And then she left the room, closing the door behind her. I am certain that Wendy saw me, tired, cold, and wet, maybe even a little bit lonesome. And knowing Wendy, she likely even knew that I would have preferred to have been at home. For me, her most precious gift was that she gave me a little bit of time to settle, to regroup, and breathe, so that I could return to the present and to myself. I felt welcome. Right now, I invite you to engage your memory and imagination for just a moment. Settle into wherever you are and take a breath. And now call to your mind a time when you felt welcome. When have you felt truly welcomed? It could have been visiting a new place, a friend's home, a different country, a new church. It could have been starting a new job or meeting a new service provider like a hairdresser or a barber. Has there been a time when you have felt welcomed? And then when you have that time present in your mind, notice what it was that made you feel welcome. Just name a few words, even out loud where you are. Was it what someone did or didn't do? Was it something present in the surroundings? What about that experience helped you feel welcome? And now that you have that memory fully in your awareness, how does that memory make you feel? Warm? Happy? Seen? Just name a few feelings from within you. And when you are ready to fully return to this present moment, hold on to that memory and to those feelings. You'll have the chance to share in the breakout rooms later, or consider sharing it with someone else today. Our spiritual theme for this month of January is welcome, one of the 6 words in the new OUUC mission: to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. For just a little bit of history, you, the congregation, crafted this mission in an effort that began about this time last year. The board enlisted UU Minister Jake Morrill to help us through the process of identifying a new vision, mission, and ends or goals for the congregation. It had been a little while since the last ones were done. So through a months-long process, you reflected and discussed, sending a writing team off with lots of material to use to draft new language for a vision, mission, and ends. Using the values you identified, the values that were important to this congregation, such as connection, inspiration, and transformation, the writing team proposed and you adopted a vision of an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. You adopted a mission with those 6 words: welcome and wonder, bridge and become, embrace and empower. Our mission, well, those are the things that we do, how we act in order to bring about the world that we envision, a world that is interconnected, loving, just, and healthy. Last fall, we explored the words in the vision statement, using one as a spiritual theme each month. This winter and spring, we'll do the same as we explore the words in our mission. And for those of you who like order, I'll let you know now that we won't take the words in the same order as they appear in the mission statement. I took some license for how they fit with holidays and holy days in the next months, but I promise we will get to them all. So we begin the new year with the spiritual theme of welcome. We say we welcome in order to help create the world that we dream about. What does it mean to welcome? Well, when I consider that question, I recall wise words that were preached at my ordination almost 4 years ago. Reverend Catherine Burt, who was one of my first UU ministers, turned to me as she began the sermon and she said, "Mary, you know this ordination service is about you, and it is not about you." I think welcome is like that. It's about us, and it's not about us. Here's what I mean. In order to welcome, we have to have some sense of who we are. What do we value? We must know this in order to offer genuine welcome, done with integrity and grounded in our deepest values. We must understand why we welcome. Then what can we offer? How can we be generous? We can't offer everything because we don't have everything. What can we share? Not only our material possessions, but what about our feelings, even our suffering? When Wendy welcomed me, she had a very good sense of who she was, what she valued, generosity and hospitality, and what she could offer. Her welcome was genuine and real, reflecting who she was as a person and a minister. She is crystal clear that her ministry includes welcome. And in order to welcome fully, we have to be able to step outside of ourselves and notice the other. It's not just about us. Although Wendy was dry and warm in her home, having enjoyed a relaxed and calm day, she opened her door to a guest who had experienced a very different kind of day. She was able to set aside her experience and see me for who I was, where I was at that moment. She placed me at the center, and I felt welcome. Stepping outside of ourselves also allows us to connect with that which is beyond us, however we name it: Spirit, God, the universe, humanity, love. This connection helps us remember what we value, the deepest why of our welcome. We can put our deepest values at the center. Now, like me, you may have been raised with the teaching of the Golden Rule, enshrined at the United Nations New York office in a painting by Norman Rockwell. The Golden Rule: treat others as you would like to be treated. Now, this is a noble idea, suggesting that we treat others at least as well as we treat ourselves, using what we prefer as the benchmark. And that makes the welcome about us. It puts us at the center. I've shared before what I learned working in the disability community, which is the Platinum Rule. Treat others as they want to be treated. This removes us from the center and places the other there. It doesn't remove us from the picture. We are still present to offer welcome. It simply takes us It asks us to step aside, to make room for the wishes of the other, even if those wishes may not be the same as ours. It asks us to widen our circle, inviting the other into the center as we step aside. For example, over the past few years, we have introduced ourselves using our pronouns. Many of us have embraced this practice that allows us to be in solidarity against transphobia, the bias against anyone who identifies as non-binary, queer, or trans. For some of us, using pronouns is a new idea and practice, and for some of us it has been uncomfortable. I've heard stories from those in our community who directly experience transphobia and who feel seen and supported for who they are when we use pronouns. We place them at the center. We step aside, and they feel welcome. I have also heard stories from those in our community, sometimes the same people, who have felt disregarded and unseen when they were misgendered or heard jokes about pronouns. Something that may not have been part of the lives for some of us is a foundational part of the identity of others. For those of us who occupy the center most of the time, welcome means stepping out of the center to make room for the other, especially those who are on the margins most of the time. We all remain in the circle, making it wider, big enough for everyone. Our story today told of a turtle and a spider, both of whom offered welcome, kind of, but who used welcome almost as if it were a weapon. While they welcomed each other to their homes, kind of, they expected the other to be what they were, a turtle with clean feet like a spider, or a spider dining underwater like a turtle. It was a welcome that centered them instead of centering the other, a false and ingenuine welcome. And while we usually don't intend to be as unwelcoming as the spider and the turtle, we probably won't get it right all the time. Sometimes I need to be reminded to use pronouns. I was reminded in a meeting yesterday, and I am grateful for the reminders and for the grace. When we gather together in worship, we hold up that which we most value. That's what worship means, holding up what we value. From our values of connection, inclusion, and love, we offer welcome so that we can help create the world that we envision. So when we welcome from our deepest values, we engage in worship. We are holding up and embodying that which we hold most dear. We sing, "Come, come, whoever you are," and by our behavior, we reveal if we really mean it. And though we may break our vows 1,000 times, we come yet again, come. Welcome to the new year. May we greet it with open minds, open hands, and open hearts. Let's welcome our thoughts and feelings into a time of silence together.
Let's sing our closing song, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. It's hymn number 188. And we'll add what is often referred to as the descant, though you've broken your vow 1,000 times. And we'll put that at the beginning and the end. You can find the lyrics posted in the chat. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, yet again come. Come, yet again come. Come, yet again come.
Thank you, Troy. Please join me as we extinguish our chalices together with these words by Jean M. Rickard. We have a calling in this world. We are called to honor diversity, to respect differences with dignity, and to challenge those who would forbid it. We are a people of a wide path. Let us be wide in affection and go our way in peace.
Let's sing together our unison benediction. We are part of the web of life. We are part of the web of love. May our words, may our deeds pull the strands of the infinite web toward health, toward justice, toward love.